93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Breezy and not nearly as hot today in Lincoln. We did manage 90 yesterday. I'm thinking 82 for a high temperature today, but wind gusts are going to be around 30 to 40 miles an hour, so hang on to those hats out there. Wind will stay with us tonight. We'll drop down to 56 for a low. We'll get up to 80 again tomorrow with, again, wind gusts up around 30 to 40 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Aaron Dowden for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com. Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School, brought to you the new school way. We're coming at you live, 1040 O Street. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Old Cheney / Andre Matt, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. Cover a lot on the block. Appreciate Kevin Meyer Cork and Bottle, 13th and South coming in, spreading the good love and the libations. Always check him out over there. He has some good offerings. Great service and great atmosphere. So when you go, I always enjoy going in and always seeing Kevin as well. A lot going on in the NFL, Austin. We'll just jump right in there. because of the schedule release and the assumptions that sometimes, people don't. I'm assuming the NFL knows, but I did Portland Trailblazers. Now I'm gonna do Pittsburgh Steelers. That at this point on May, what does it say, 15th?
15th.
May 15th. They still don't know who their quarterback is, or at least we don't know. And there's very few people in that building that knows. You might think, and I know they said that Aaron Rodgers threw a DK Metcalf and all that, and I'm gonna say this before. Aaron Rodgers said he had some personal stuff going on, and you always got to be respectful of that,
But the last time we heard personal stuff, he went to a literal dark place.
Yeah, but I think it sounds like it's, maybe like he has a family member that might be ill or whatever. So you got to be respectful of that. But I'm going to assume that Pittsburgh Steelers trust him at his word that he's going there. And he said he told Aaron Glenn and them that he still wanted to play football, still motivated. So I'm assuming that the place that he's going to go is Pittsburgh. Now, not hearing anything at this point might be the same reason why Minnesota closed the door so quickly, because that seemed like the easiest place for him to go. You got a number one receiver, a very quarterback-friendly offense, a former quarterback as a head coach, a division that and you love playing in and successful in. You immediately, even though you're probably well on the back 9 of Augusta in your career, you could argue and say that if healthy, you'd still be the best one with Justin Jefferson and those weapons out there, and Aaron Jones, and so it would be kind of a welcome sight. And they beefed up the offensive line with being Minnesota, but they shut down that door really quick after a visit with you. So
do you think that's more about Aaron Rodgers or more about JJ McCarthy? Because they said it was about JJ, but it seems like it's about Aaron.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think JJ McCarthy, as you start to see the agent was thinking about moving, you ain't going nowhere. No. I think it's a little bit about JJ McCarthy because you want to, recommit to him, and you didn't give him a chance, and he was going to probably be your starter. But then I think it was more about Aaron Rodgers and maybe whatever he has going on and when his timeline is or was going to be and when he was going to commit to playing or commit to whatever team he was going to play. So Minnesota quickly moved on. Other places dried up, Jets and stuff, or not the Jets, but the Giants. And now he went to Pittsburgh, and they said it was a good visit. The draft has come and gone. They have already had mini camps or having mini camps. And here we are a week from Memorial Day weekend, which probably might be after I'd see him showing up, because Memorial Day weekend and mini camps, you have a mini camp and then you get a weekend off. Then he's gonna, if he's gonna play, and then more importantly play for Pittsburgh, the time is now. You got to get the timing down. You got to find a place to live. You got to get situated. You can't just show up at training camp and think you're going to figure it out. And the way that they structure training camp now, yes, it's still hard, but it's not. You're not getting as much time with each other. So now you look at Pittsburgh, and you're talking about what team when you pick the Philly. Pittsburgh had a chance maybe to draft Shedeur Sanders or anybody that was drafted prior to him as the quarterback. Now, granted, I think they got a sneaky good quarterback that could be potentially a starter in a couple of years in Will Howard late. But you draft Will Howard because you want to bring him in to learn under a guy like Aaron Rodgers for a season or two. And it could be just a season if he really catches on to watching Aaron Rodgers learn from the veteran presence and a Hall of Fame quarterback. Well, he's not there. Well, guess who he gets to watch work every day? Mason Rudolph.
Woo! Yeah. Real inspiring.
Right. And then when you think about this team,
the guy who survived getting his helmet taken off by Myles Garrett.
He survived. You lucky. You better go push
I said survived.
I
didn't say thrived. I said survived for a reason, Jay.
Whatever chips he had, he needed to go to the nearest casino, put all in, because he's lucky to be alive. But when you think about this team, though, you sign DK Metcalf to a huge contract. You get rid of Pickens, but you got two. One for sure, surefire Hall of Famer in TJ Watt, first ballot. Definitely a Steelers Hall of Famer in Cam Hayward.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Hayward is on his this is last year. TJ Watt is at maybe his last year at Pittsburgh, meaning one more year. Do we sign him to kind of I'll call it a lifetime contract?
Lifetime achievement.
Lifetime achievement. And you get a big contract, kind of like Cam Hayward.
Mm.
Or do we trade him while he's still productive? So now you're looking at this is the last. These guys are talking about this in the locker room. I can promise you that. They're talking about this, especially those two, because these two are the type of players that they go past. Well, they talk directly to the head coach and the GM and the owners. They are well aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is a defense, even though they had their low lights last year, they want to see what's going on the other side. And I think part of it being a veteran leader in an organization like Pittsburgh, when you hear them like, hey, we got 11 guys doing one thing, one guy doing his own thing, that's Pickens. He's now gone. So now as a veteran, you're like, okay, they really have heard us. They respected us. And now we need to go show, that the move was right. Well, here now you are without a quarterback, and you ain't winning in the NFL without a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The days of like Trent Dilfer playing keep away for Baltimore. I don't even want to say Brad Johnson playing keep, but not high level quarterback like a Jeff Hostetler, which I think he was, a good player. I mean, I hate saying this because these guys won Super Bowls. I didn't. But what I'm saying is like, there's a difference between Jeff Hostetler and John Elway when he won the 2 Super Bowls and Joe Montana. So and those are Hall of Famers, but you got to get realistic quarterback play. You know what I'm saying?
Legitimate quarterback. Hey, you can walk and chew gum at the same time quarterback play.
And you know what? Maybe Mason Rudolph, second time around can do it. But by the way you've drafted, right? The way you continue to pass on an NFL ready potentially and a relationship ready, that a guy that could go to Pittsburgh and be honed and like nurtured by Mike Tomlin, even in a backup role, right? Shedeur Sanders probably has a higher potential than Will Howard. You chose to pass on. So by all actions, and you're in Pittsburgh isn't like when I was with the Texans. All right, man, we could get 7 wins, 8 wins. Go like Pittsburgh. You're trying to be. We're thinking playoff runs now because what's the biggest knock on Mike Tomlin? He'll get you a winning season, get you beat in the first round.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that was the joke about the schedule release was breaking. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been locked into wild card weekend as 8-point underdogs.
Right. And then you all off season, you make a huge move or 2 huge moves. Excuse me. You bring in Metcalf. You get rid of Pickens. You feel like you upgrade there. You give him a huge contract. You get a really good draft in Caleb Williams and company. You really drafted well last year, and you got Peyton Wilson, who I think was a first-round pick, but he just had some injury histories, and he was paid off tenfold. And now you don't have a quarterback.
Still don't have a quarterback. Not even now you don't have a quarterback. Yeah. Russ was okay. Justin Fields, I thought, was fine in the action that he got. But Pittsburgh knew going into the year, neither one of them was their franchise guy.
And
they thought Kenny Pickett was, and they moved off of that real quick.
Real quick. And that was after Mason Rudolph.
And that's probably because they didn't find the guy after Roethlisberger. They've been spinning their wheels. I mean, they should have had the guy for Ben Roethlisberger 2 years earlier than they did. They didn't invest in quarterback then.
Right. And then let me ask you that. Now, was that a byproduct of Ben Roethlisberger kind of like spreading his wings? I don't want another quarterback in, because he doesn't seem like somebody that's trying to groom somebody for a spot. Because you got to think he came back that last year and it seemed like he reluctantly retired. You know what I mean? Even though the play.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger got retired more than he retired, right? I think that's beyond a shadow of a doubt, right? Pittsburgh said, we can't handle this any longer.
Right.
But if you're Ben Roethlisberger, you weren't in the same vein as Aaron Rodgers when he pulled that stunt. When Aaron Rodgers said that about Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers just got done winning 2 straight MVPs.
Right.
You know?
But here, now we go back now. Hey, listen, now we go back to Draymond Green talking to Paul Pierce. Remember that when there was a hot mic.
Yeah.
You want the farewell tour, but you're not like that.
You're not Kobe.
Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger could view in Pittsburgh, in his mind, being there for 17 years, being he's a Hall of Fame player. He thinks he's Aaron Rodgers.
Well, he's good. Ben Roethlisberger's one of the better quarterbacks of his era.
He thinks he's been,
but not to that level.
Right. But and Pittsburgh refused to address it because why? They became comfortable and complacent by what? Knew that they can count on Ben. They knew that even when he struggled, he could
on that defense,
and he would muster up a game or two. Even at the end of his career, 2 games before his last game, he's like, oh, well, he had a resurgence. Well, then now you didn't know what you even really wanted in a quarterback because essentially it was either our defense would bail us out or Ben Roethlisberger would bail us out. And this is, I think, also, Austin, why they always continued to draft malcontents at wide receiver. Because it worked out with, at that time, Antonio Brown. And then you got to think.
Well, and think about their OCs too.
Yeah.
Todd Haley, Randy Fitchner, Matt Canada, before they finally grew up and got Arthur Smith. But think about the guys before those guys, Jay.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians.
Yeah, real deal.
Ken Wisenhunt.
Real deal.
Mike Mularkey.
Really good offensive coordinator, I like.
Kevin Gilbride.
Yeah.
Ray Sherman for 1 year. Chan Gailey.
All legit, well-respected offensive coordinator.
Tomlin has not made the OC hire.
Yeah. But then also that also goes intact with the quarterback. I think they kind of talked themselves into Kenny Pickett was Ben Roethlisberger 2.0. He's played at Pittsburgh, used to remember one of the things they said when he got drafted, he's used to the locker room because they share kind of facilities or whatever. And, I thought Kenny Pickett was a good quarterback and all that, but, that's where you can either talk yourself into drafting somebody or talking yourself out of drafting somebody that can help your franchise.
Yeah.
And so now you got Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and Skylar Thompson. So you better off just starting right now. If the season started right now, you might as well just go with Will Howard. Because Mason Rudolph isn't going to win you any more games significantly or in a different way that you would have to win with Will Howard. You're going to have to lean on the run game. That's why you got Caleb Johnson, I think, in the second round. You kind of are hoping Broderick Jones and all these guys and Zach Frazier can really take the next step offensively in the offensive line. And you got essentially a 6th offensive lineman in Darnell Washington. So you're really trying to go back to old school Pittsburgh when the call has always been to what? Open up the offense. There's only one quarterback that's been in your building that can do that, and he ain't on your team yet, and that's Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Justin Fields, I think, could have.
He could have, but he wasn't given a chance.
That part.
Right.
And he wasn't perfect when Russ was out. Don't get me wrong.
No.
I'm not saying Justin Fields was the savior, but I still think Justin Fields can be an average NFL starting quarterback.
Justin Fields with a DK Metcalf is a legit quarterback because you can trust DK Metcalf and he will make Justin Fields better in the passing game.
You can talk yourself into Justin Fields as Russ 2.0.
Right. But you needed Russ because of Pickens' shortcomings, and then also Pickens was really good on the deep ball. So, I mean, Pittsburgh's just interesting to me just because, Keanu Benton, who we saw up close and personal from Wisconsin. They drafted Derek Harmon, Cam Hayward, who's like, he's got as much greater than me and pretty good defense and pieces, but their defensive identity isn't necessarily there either. They were leaking a lot of oil last year too. So when you can't depend on that first-class defense and you don't have a quarterback, then you really get under some heat as a head coach. I'm surprised Mike Tomlin hasn't, he always talks about he always checks the temperature of his team before they start practice. Well, you haven't checked the temperature of the room. Because whether it works or not, if it works, you're getting the credit. If it doesn't, you're getting double the credit for not working. And it's all based on the quarterback. They've done everything you needed to do as far as like every other position. I like Robert Woods. Calvin Austin is fine. You got like Scotty Miller. We saw Roman Wilson here in Nebraska. So you got young guys and all that. You even got Trey Sermon as your 4th running back, who we seen when he played at Ohio State, he was good. But you ain't got a quarterback. That means you've done everything. I mean, like I said, it's like this. The PGA Championship is going on. You somehow get promoted to be Scotty Scheffler's caddy. Hey, pick you out of the crowd. And you forget the driver or the putter at the hotel.
Whoops.
And it's the two most important things you need. scoring clubs, your driver and your putter, and you're not able to do it, and so you didn't bring it. So this is the thing it's concerning, because this is like, for me, if I was talking to Aaron Rodgers, they say you're Aaron Rodgers, and obviously you have to be empathetic to whatever situation that he either tells you or tells you, hey, I got one. You got to trust what he's got, because I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a guy that says he's going to play football and then makes up a lie and just hanging out. I think as much as I always kind of dogged him about going in the dark and then taking the supplements to have diarrhea for 30 days and all that, I truly believe, because you could tell in that interview, that he has some stuff that he needed to attend to.
Yeah.
But you also have to make him aware of the previous situation, in your opinion, and you need to probably ask his opinion why it didn't work. They needed you to commit in the offseason. You did not commit in the offseason, meaning be there all the time. The continuity, even with one of your best friends, was not there.
No.
Even with one of the best young receivers in the league, was not there. How can we come to some compromise so we don't have another situation that didn't work out for you and might not work out for us? And we need you to be at your best. Not the Aaron Rodgers, the MVP and Super Bowl winner, but Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback that everybody thought was going to the Jets.
Aaron Rodgers has to play the role of quarterback almost as well as he has to play the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Team leader, game manager, almost understanding the situation around him. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is obtuse by any means. I don't think he's dumb. I don't know why he's chosen to act the way that he has. But this is the moment where, like you said, that compromise between how does Pittsburgh let Aaron Rodgers reap the benefits of the long storied first ballot Hall of Fame type of career he's had, while still holding his feet to the fire enough that they get warm and understand, hey, we're not just here for your legacy pass, right? We're not just here to give you the golden parachute. We're here because we believe we're at this table with you because we believe you actually want to work, that you are willing to put in the requisite work to be an NFL quarterback and lead this locker room, whatever it takes. If you can do that, we're cool. If not, well, then you're not getting the perks that you want and you deserve.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's healthy enough and working out. I mean, I don't think he's just sitting around on the couch and just eating cheese puffs or Cheetos or whatever. But I also think that he's overestimating his ability, which he used to have. Essentially, play the season in Green Bay, come to a couple mini camps, and then show up at training camp and just light it up. And the training camp was the way that you got rhythm. The NFL is moving too fast right now. You had Jaden Daniels essentially go from, college football, or winning the Heisman to essentially winning a rookie Heisman and being a legit top 12 quarterback. The reason why it's red alert for Aaron Rodgers, because as these young guys start to ascend, you start talking about Jalen Hurts and all these guys, they start to go up the pecking order. You by nature just go down the pecking order. And the type of workers that you're going to be throwing to receiving core is not what it was in Green Bay. There's not Jones. There's not, Adams. There's not Jordy Nelson. These guys.
Not a Cobb.
Right. They're not Cobb. They're not there. You don't have Aaron Jones necessarily. You got Warren here, but he's not Aaron Jones coming out of the backfield. You don't know this offense inside and out. Matter of fact, it's questionable whether you need more chemistry with the offensive coordinator right now or build that, or with the receivers.
Yeah.
Because I think that's part of the reason why you failed up in New York is when they started to kind of make some changes and you thought it was rinse and repeat from the old days. It was not.
Surprised.
Yeah. And if it's something that he can't handle, and say he decides, and calls, and the worst thing that can happen for Mike Tomlin is this. On a Sunday night before you got, probably just had dinner, probably watching, I guess, baseball season, or watching the PGA cleanup, or Memorial Day, watching golf. You have a nice little steak, probably, just sitting back, have a couple. I know you like a couple Miller Lights. Cell phone goes off. It's AA Ron. Hey, coach. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I need to take this season off. I got stuff I got to handle. I don't think I can give you everything that I promised I could give you. It's commendable, but it's gut-wrenching. Because you want to know why it's gut-wrenching?
Because your next call is Kirk Cousins, according to Cupsker.
which isn't a bad call. Because as much as I thought Aaron Rodgers needed Pittsburgh, I don't think he thinks he needs Pittsburgh. And because I think Pittsburgh needed him. But I know two people that need each other more than anything. Old Corduroy Kurt and Pittsburgh Steelers. And he'd fit right in.
It's almost like we've seen him in an Arthur Smith system before.
And he would play the position of quarterback.
Play the role.
Mm-hmm. And play the position. Because that's how Kurt does it. When Kurt gets mad, and he was mad at Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, he was over there explaining that's exactly what Pittsburgh needs. But I think they would get a better version of Kirk Cousins. You're going to get a motivated, pissed off Kirk Cousins because he essentially was drafted over when he came down there, and then he got hurt. So if I'm Pittsburgh, time waits for no man. But I also think it's not that much of a downgrade if you get Kirk Cousins at this point versus Aaron Rodgers, and you can get longevity out of Kirk Cousins for 2 years, which allows Will Howard to
2 years.
2 years. Then you can make another decision with a draft, potentially, if you have to go back in it, of a franchise quarterback again, that you might want to do a little bit more research on it and make him turn the keys over to him.
Dylan Raiola might be available.
Yeah.
DJ Lagway might be available.
Yeah. I never thought about it like that. I like that.
Just saying.
Dylan in Pittsburgh?
I'm just saying.
I like Dylan up there.
I'm just saying.
I like Pittsburgh. Listen, I've been to Pittsburgh. I played there, but Pittsburgh is kind of like when Matt Rule was talking about recruits coming here. I thought Pittsburgh was. You remember that football movie with Tom Cruise? I forget what it's called. Text line. We need it. Where he's the linebacker and they drinking beers. He's talking about doing 62 stack monster.
All the right moves.
Okay. And they had a linebacker. I think they ended up going to Miami or whatever, and I think he had a kid or something like that. That's what I think of Pittsburgh, or I thought of Pittsburgh as. Steel Town. The whole movie looked like it was overcast and gray, and Tom Cruise was a little bit of a hothead or whatever. But when I played in Pittsburgh, man, I love Pittsburgh. I would say this, Austin, and before we take a break, I'm going to tell you the 3 teams I wish I played for.
Pittsburgh.
The 2 teams I wish I played for, and the coaches I wish I played for. Pittsburgh's one of them. And I was pleasantly surprised when I went there.
Because of the city, because of Cowher, because of LeBeau, because of everything.
Well, the city, because I always thought it was just grimy,
Aren't Pittsburgh.
Right. It's not. Bill Cowher, the whole aura of Pittsburgh.
Rooney's.
Joey Porter.
Right.
We would have been,
your boy.
Yeah, we would have been in there. Jason Simmons, we would have got it cracking. Tyrone Carter. I mean, I was tailor-made for Pittsburgh. But they had a really good linebacker in James Ferry. You know what they said, though? Only one light skin in the top. Anyways, man, we're going to take a quick break. Come back, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett. Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more. The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for hosting? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and the close to a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you consider throwing a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. The What If edition. You know, it's you always, it's football time. You start thinking about, like, who you could have played with. Now, first of all, I would have loved to play for the Panthers. One, there's a lot of former teammates down there. But more importantly, is just being able to be coached by Sam Mills. No, it just didn't never work out. And that's what, you talk about Caleb Williams and Kevin O'Connell. That will work out. Now, I was never on the level of Caleb Williams. But quarterback coaches, offensive-minded coaches, if they get a chance, I'm telling you, if it comes down later on in his career, if it comes down to Caleb Williams and, say, John Smith, Caleb Williams is going to be there. I'm just telling you that first initial connection, and Caleb Williams will pick that as well, because it's always that what if, if, or that kind of, girl that turned you down at prom, or just a little bit too late asking. But for me, it was probably Sam Mills, just because through the draft process, I think he, we kind of connected. We just hit it off. Probably a little underrated coming out, and proved a lot of people wrong. like I said, as I started to go on in my career, he kind of, I wouldn't say kept up with me, but because Mike Rucker was down there, he was like, "Hey man, your old teammate in college is having a good year." And then I got to, I saw him after when we played him, and so, but we never got the hookup player or coach to player. That's one. Number two was Pittsburgh. I think Bill Cowher would have been great, just because of the chin and all that, and felt like I would, Pittsburgh would, it was like Buffalo, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of.
But they've moved you to outside, or you stayed inside in that 3-4?
Oh, I would have played inside. I wouldn't have got in the game like I did. I wouldn't have been able to just run in there like did. But I think I would have, I think I would have liked Pittsburgh, and done well, to fitting in that organization. I wasn't big nightlife guy or whatever. So I think that would have been good. Other place I wish I would have played. Now this is reluctantly. This is different. Is Dallas.
Interesting.
And it's not because of the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of Bill Parcells.
Sure.
And I got in there. He knew my dad through obviously being in the NFL in this instance or whatever. But I always had an appreciation, a ton of respect for Bill Parcells for multiple reasons. Now, number one, obviously, he was a great coach. But obviously, even a better human. The connection that he has with his players. He had this thing where he had an interview, and some players that had been through some issues, like Dave Maggett and some other guys, and he was there for them. Nothing on the books or out in the media, but he's like, hey, these guys gave their body, blood, sweat, and tears. Why wouldn't I be for them when they're in times of need? That's number one. So that lets you know right then and there, you'd run. It's still different than McBride or Osborne. But then also, I think he could have. I think the one thing is I'll never forget, and it's crazy, is that you get the most impactful calls by guys that didn't draft you, right? And here, I was thinking about the draft. You hear about the draft of players that they have two players on the hook or on the line, and they draft somebody else. And I have to look and see who they drafted. And they ended up drafting a guy named Eric Barton, who ended up being a really good player. I think in Oakland, or maybe he played good for the Jets. Whatever he did, he ended up really flourishing, I think, wherever he went. And he was a linebacker as well. But I'm going to tell you this, is that Bill Parcells was talking to me when they didn't draft me, I think, or were going to draft me, and they end up going another way. He said, listen, it is not where you get drafted at or where you start. It's how you finish. And he ain't draft me. Now, mind you, I end up going to Buffalo. Then I've been in Houston, and then we end up scrimmaging Dallas. And, I did all right. I was going against Larry Allen, did okay, made a couple plays. And
Larry Allen, he was pretty good at football.
Yeah, he was. Hey, there's two guys that you lose. There's two guys that ever lost a little sleep. Barry Sanders and Larry Allen. Because Larry Allen was destroying cats. So I had to figure out a plan to run away from him, not run into him. But Bill Parcells, he kind of, I think I had an interception in practice. He's like, he said something like, that's why you play defense. You couldn't run it like your dad and all that stuff. But I would like to play for him because I think that he was a lot like Reggie Herring for me. Reggie Herring pushed some buttons I never knew I had. That's why I love him. Now, I hated him at the time. Not hated him, but I hated the process of going through it. But I'm telling you, like and I think Bill Parcells would have done it. Also, I think he was a great coach. He would have been he was another one. And I would have liked to play in for a Mike Shanahan.
Denver?
Yeah, just somebody like that. Like a Shanahan, Mariucci, somebody like that.
You say Shanahan, Jay. I also have to ask. You didn't mention Frederick, Maryland or the Twin Cities.
Oh, would I like to play there?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, that's why. Listen, that's why I really don't like. I like Charlie Castley. Like I got a little bone to pick with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go through this process, and I'm like, oh man, Redskins need a linebacker. This is right for the picking. They got a 4th round pick, and you need to look this up, Austin. They took a linebacker from Georgia Tech that didn't go to the combine in the 4th round.
Tough.
and it was Charlie Castley's call. So I was, I was ready to, that was it. I wouldn't have mind play. I would have loved to play for Denny Green. They tried to go replay of Eddie McDaniel and drafted like Chris T. Jones or some linebacker from Clemson. That was a little water bug type dude. He ended up not playing well. I think they were probably more afraid of. Wouldn't say that what would have been like a hometown kid playing, but I think it would have been like, all right, this kid's coming in. He's actually pretty good. He's going to be pushing these dudes. We got our dudes we want to play. The pressure. I mean, you got to think, and the pressure is his dad's a hall, or, obviously one of the greatest to play here. Here come his son. And don't think that Denny Green didn't know by Minnesota Gophers passing on me. You got your boy fired for the Gophers. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that stopped them. Yeah. I think it was more they wanted a backup for Eddie McDaniel. They had success with Eddie McDaniel coming from Clemson. This kid was coming from Clemson, kind of fit the mold. And they passed on me. But I made him pay for it, though. Big time.
You did?
When we played at Minnesota, it was on and popping.
Personal?
Oh, yeah. And then when we played at Minnesota, it was spendy because I had to buy all those dang tickets. Still waiting on people to pay me back for it. No, I fronted for the ticket. Got busy against them. Then, when they came down or whatever. But definitely would have liked to play for the Redskins at that time. I would have been getting a lot of home cooked meals. Maryland blue crabs and stuff. It would have been I think for the draft and the situation, it worked out well in Buffalo, but you also, been able to play for some coaches that were legendary coaches. You got to think, if I played for the Jets and Parcells at that time, Belichick was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, then you go to Patriots, which, I think the one thing I was fortunate, I got to play with the Giants for a year with Tom Coughlin. And, this is when with him and Strahan, this is after they threw button heads.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Coughlin didn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing about Tom Coughlin was I'll never forget the first I got there and I always was, early to meetings, 5 minutes early. Man, he was waiting out there like I thought I was late. So I just kind of, it just puts you in a panic. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, dude. Like, I'm 5 minutes early. So, remember Big Ten, he was getting 5 extra minutes out of you being there. I was like, okay, then I just adapted right away.
Mm-hmm.
That's where rookies falter with that. If a meeting starts at 6, that doesn't mean you roll in at 5:58 or 5:59 right at the last minute. If a meeting starts at 6, it's actually 5:50.
And then Tom Coughlin would say, "Oh, looks like we're all here. Let's get started."
Yeah, and then so you would get an extra 10 minutes. So it's a way to kind of get more, and that's fine. I mean, you're there. What and some of it's a stretch or whatever. But he started finding guys. That was the problem. I never, it never happened to me. But the intensity of that, the first time when I knew I'm 5 minutes early, but I quickly adapted to being 10 minutes early.
Yeah,
and then the whole team did it, right? And then, so it was cool, after that.
Was it actually the whole team?
Well, I mean, Strahan, you got, the majority of us, the 50 other guys that were fine. And, whether it was probably Tiki got to do his thing, but they were always there. Like Strahan was there, worked hard. I'm going to tell you real quick before we go to break. The one bone to pick I have with Tom Coughlin is I was always in good shape, even when I was coming back from my injury, and I worked out or whatever. So I was in the shape or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So the team, we would I think the first practice of the week was like pads, but then you take them off. Mm-hmm. Well, he was like, "Oh no, you keep yours on because we want to make sure you in shape." I'm sitting there like, bro, you bringing me in to back up and run down on kickoff. I can do that without like doing anything.
Right.
When I tell you, Austin, I took every rep on scout team. And that's the thing about Tom Cotton. I'll tell you this. His walkthroughs was like practice, full speed, right? So, you tax them. Then you're there, a new kid on the block, you want to earn your stripes or whatever, no matter what. I'm in year 8. Took every rep in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Took half the reps on defense. All the reps on special teams. Your boy was done.
That was that.
Hey, I got back to that Marriott, was done. I got room service, slept like a baby for the first 2 weeks. Man.
Woo.
Yeah, I mean, but that's because I had to pass. I was straight here. I was laughing at me. And so, but you didn't, but at the end, it kind of got you, got me right. But he'll get it out of you. He would get it out of you in practice. And, we wanted you to be physical and all that stuff, which wasn't a problem. But when you're a veteran, used to that.
You're looking forward to, hey, I can go shell. I can go.
Yeah.
Just
You want to take the pads off and,
Yeah.
and kind of work on your game. But, man, between him and Mike Singletary.
No.
Mike Singletary. I think the linebacker's name was Adrian Patterson. He was an outside linebacker, first-round pick from Michigan State by the 49ers. Me and him had the same agent, or one of our agents were like crossover. He purposely signed with Seattle because of Mike Singletary and his in the individual work was like that.
Dang.
Hey, your boy was crazy. I'll never forget this. I got there. Now, mind you, I flew from Charlotte to San Fran.
Woo!
So I'm all jacked up.
Right.
And you get there, I didn't have my car out there or anything. So we pick you up, and I don't even know if I ate for it seems like a day. You kind of get a little Scooby snack. So I'm in there. I don't have any workout equipment or any workout gear. Because I'm there early, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's in the locker room. I'm just sitting there waiting. You're just kind of
in travel suit.
First day of school. Now I was like, all right, let me just bring, I just brought some shorts and kind of like these sweat, kind of, they call them joggers now, sweats, and I had a sweatshirt, just with me because I just brought all my stuff with me, right? And I think I lost my bag too. So I was like, so I always said, I'm bringing headphones and something just to get around it. Well, I had some Air Force Ones. That's what you're traveling in, right?
Mm-hmm. We get it. You're cool.
He come in there. He's like, oh, what's up, man? He's like, nice to see you again. Because I worked out the week before. He's like, hey, we got practice. We got meetings. He's like, let's go outside and do some movement. So I can't say no.
Right. Mike Singletary.
I was like, he's like, you got some stuff? And of course you say, yeah. And so out there at this point of the year, there's dew out there.
That's probably really fun on your Air Force Ones.
Yo.
That you spend all night traveling in.
Hey, works me like a dog in those, right? Slipping, sliding. He probably was laughing. Then got breakfast. He broke your boy down. Then he had to shoot, Austin, where he had to do linebacker drills.
Okay.
And so, I'm a little taller. I was the tallest linebacker we had, 6'3". And you had to get down there, and then you kind of had to hit this dummy, and you had to take on linemen, to try to keep, and when you ain't done that, you can't train like that at home. I don't have a shoot, and I don't have helmets and pads.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he's like, dang, Foreman. He's like, you might have a concussion. Hey, Austin.
You're like, Mike, you said you have to fail.
Hey, Austin. Oh, you're going bing, bing, the top of the helmet. Hey, then my boy D. Smitty, right? Derek Smith had the vet of the all vet. Because he had this something wrong with his wrist. He was a real good linebacker, but that's when he would go get his wrist tape over there laughing. He's like every time go get his wrist tape. He was killing it for the first couple of days. Anyways, that was story time. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, quick break, and then we'll be right back. Put a bow on this bad boy on this Thursday.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m., and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats like Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Call or text us at 402-464-5685 with questions, or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Registration goes through May 30th.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a 1-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com. But don't be late, we close at 8.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Short segment. Austin Norman with you, taking you home for old school, getting you set up for WTF. Eric Strickland, Lester Johnson, the crew. Husker baseball not off to the best of starts in game 1 of their series against Purdue and West Lafayette. Last check, it was 8-1 Boilermakers after the 3rd inning. Dylan Carey just got Nebraska on the board with a solo home run. Purdue started its lefty relief ace. Think Andrew Miller style from the Cleveland, then Indians, now Guardians back in 2016, helped propel them to the World Series. That's essentially who Purdue started today. Boilermakers got 5 batted around off Tucker Timmerman in the 2nd, added another 3 in the 3rd. Dylan Carey did get that one back, like I said, with a solo shot. But according to Evan Bland, friend of the show, Nebraska has not come back from a deficit of 7 or more runs since 2021. So never say never. That's why we love baseball. Game without a shot clock. I know there's a pitch clock, but, got to get the guy out in front of you. Can't just run out the clock. Never say never for the Huskers. but certainly not in good shape in game one of the series. Purdue fighting for its Big Ten tournament lives. Nebraska is more in the picture than out of the picture, but Nebraska gets swept. Things get a little funky. The preseason top 25 Huskers could be out of the Big Ten tournament. We'll see if the Huskers rally tonight, and if not, how they handle tomorrow and Saturday. Also want to throw this out there from Nebraska baseball. Huskers did get invited to another early season showcase sort of event. Let me find the exact name. They posted it earlier today. The Amity Bank College Baseball Series down at Globe Life Field, home of the Rangers in Arlington, Texas. Nebraska, one of 6 teams in the field. The other teams include Auburn, who's been pretty solid this year. If you look at the Tigers, they are 37-15 overall, 16-11 in SEC play. That's good for a tie for 4th place. They're just a game back of LSU, 2 games back of Arkansas, and 4 games back of Texas. So Auburn, it looks like they're on their way to winning 40 games in this regular season. Good for the Tigers. They will be on potentially the docket for Nebraska next year. Florida State, we know that's a pretty traditional baseball power and school. Kansas State, a Midwestern team that's certainly on the rise. You look at Louisville and Michigan as more Midwestern-ish teams in that field as well. Going to be interesting to monitor how this weekend goes for Nebraska. Can they make it into the Big Ten tournament? But if you caught Baseball Corner with me and Nick on Monday, I did make a comment that I think bears repeating with the announcement of this Amity Bank College Baseball Series that Nebraska got invited to. Nebraska's RPI is where it is because of the heights the Husker baseball program has been at before. Because I do think there is some level of respect for Nebraska baseball as a program that doesn't necessarily exist for other teams, right? Oregon's certainly on the rise. Iowa's been up and down, more up than down, but good, not elite necessarily. Teams like that aren't getting invited to these showcases, these opportunities down south against, high quality programs very often, at least not at the same rate as Nebraska, which been in one of these style of events pretty much every year, as much as I can remember. I'm sure there are exceptions. So it's a testament to Nebraska that they still get invited to these events. Can Nebraska capitalize on it? I mean, certainly the win over Vanderbilt earlier this year is a step in the right direction when you think about capitalizing on an event like that. But sooner or later, Nebraska's really got to pay these events off consistently, right? It's one thing to be invited. It's another to do something with it that weekend. But really, these are supposed to be building blocks for Nebraska to boost that RPI and make sure it finds itself squarely in the NCAA tournament picture. And right now, Nebraska's on the way outside looking in, going to take getting to the Big Ten tournament and probably winning the Big Ten tournament for Nebraska to play its way into meaningful postseason baseball. That'll put a bow on this show. Big thanks to the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese for their sponsorship of this show and On the Block. For Jay, I'm Austin. Don't go anywhere. We got WTF Stricken Cluster after this.
Keep summer green with Judson Bylene and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install them and forget them outfit, long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Upgrade your fleet with a pre-owned 8R tractor from Landmark Implement. We offer a wide selection of used John Deere 8Rs, ready to bring power and precision to your operation. For a limited time, take advantage of 2.9% financing for 36 months, followed by 6.2% for 24 months. We'll help you find the right fit for all your acres, all backed by Landmark's trusted